To the average office worker, email feels a lot like war, a never-ending one. But like war, most casualties are surprisingly self-inflicted. You see, bad emails not only cost you time, but they cost you credibility. And in a service business like ours, where every interaction is a signal of how much we care, a sloppy email is kind of like a sloppy handshake. Now, in 1839, a British novelist that you've never heard of, Edward Bulwer-Lytton, wrote a famous quote that you know. It's that the pen is mightier than the sword. But my take here is that in the 21st century, that quote should be updated to the email is mightier than the pen. And most people are wielding it like an amateur. It's not just junior people that are new to the industry. It's most people. It drives me nuts. But here's the problem. No one talks about these things. And so how are you supposed to know? That's why most people have this issue. That's why we're getting into it today in this video. I want to talk about the little nitty-gritty nuances about email. And so what we've done is we've created 41 little ideas or rules around email. And we've categorized them into 8 sections. And I'll note this list is not from ChatGPT or Claude. It's from day-to-day work in the management industry, year over year, compiling and categorizing rules around email. Now, I promise you that each one of these rules, there's a few real-life stories behind them. And so pay attention to each, despite what I'm going to do, which is whip through them in rapid fire. So here we go. Section 1, email culture and mindset. This is the big picture stuff, why email matters and how to think about it. So rule number 1 is that email is a secret time killer. Use it with caution. You see, email is not our job. It's a tool to achieve a result. And too many people confuse those two things. And so for as long as you are that person that's confusing the tool with the actual job, is that you won't realize when you're investing time versus wasting it. Rule number 2, how a team uses email reflects that workplace. And so how we do anything is how we do everything. People see how we email and they extrapolate. So if we're timely and we've good spelling and we're organized, people assume everything that we do is that way. But if we're the opposite, people assume the opposite. Rule number 3, remember that many internal emails are symptoms of poor process. Spot them, raise concern, or better yet, fix that process. In my view, the perfect company requires no internal emails. Think synchronized swimmers. Rule number 4, be human. Personality sprinkled in the right way makes you more effective, period. Section number 2, speed and responsiveness. This is all about the rules around timing. Rule number 5, the desired response time is same day. This is hard for some property managers to hear, but nirvana is a cleared inbox at the end of the day. Rule number 6, clients should receive whiplash due to the speed of your responsiveness. To be explicitly clear, whiplash to me means a response within the same hour. That's 60 minutes or 3,600 seconds. It's quick, it's probably unreasonable, but it's what we aim for. Obviously some exceptions here. Rule number 7, close the loop. See, email is an exchange. It's a conversation. Being the last response of each email string signals that you're on top of it. If you're never the last to respond in every single email chain, people start to wonder, is this person behind? Rule number 8, don't send emails at weird times to be cool. I've been there. I get the allure. Don't. It can often make you look more disorganized than you might think. Rule number 9, 0 angry or emotional emails. There's absolutely no tolerance for this in any professional workplace. Remember a quote from Marcus Aurelius, which is that the solution to anger is delay. So the best thing to do if you're emotionally compromised is to email tomorrow. Section number 3, who you're sending to. This is audience management. So rule number 10 is the 2 CC and BCC fields. They all have different purposes. Know them and use them correctly, please. And I'm not going to get into the details there. Please look it up. Rule number 11, double check who you're emailing before you hit send. For those of you that have sent the right email to the wrong person, you know what I'm talking about. Check every time. Rule number 12, Hello all forces everyone to read whether it's relevant to them or not. Narrow your audience by addressing the specific person and no one else at the top of your email. Rule number 13, drop non-pertinent people in an email string to BCC and note it in your email. Rule number 14, use the @ sign in the person's name correctly and appropriately. Section 4, writing the email. This is craft and structure. Rule number 15 is don't bury the lead. This is an old newspaper writing maxim. Start with the most important information at the top of your email and transition into further context lower down as needed. Do not bury important information at the bottom of an email. Rule number 16 is bold and or underline or highlight the most important points of your email. Use this sparingly, but use it. Rule number 17, emails longer than 5 sentences don't get read. Rule 18, if in doubt, delete. Shorter is better. Now, rule 17 and 18 are in essence the same, which is shorter is better. But there's 2 rules on purpose because it's very important. There's a saying that people hear me say a lot, which is if I had more time, I'd write a shorter letter. And the point with that is it's easy to be verbose. It's difficult to be concise and to the point. Be that person. Rule number 19, if possible, with internal communication, avoid specifics and exact numbers. These specifics or exact numbers can turn a 2-minute email into a 10-minute email because you need to quote the tenant owes $12,000 at $344.66 as opposed to saying they're late 2 months. Specifics burn time. Obviously know when specifics are important. Rule number 20, buffer language, which is the hope you're well at the beginning of an email, is nice. Use it when starting a cold conversation. Rule 21, choose professional words. Informal language can liquefy your credibility. For example, NSF as opposed to bounce. Don't say bounce to a tenant. Non-sufficient funds is much more professional. Again, this applies for external emails more than internal emails. And you might hear it and think, I do that. But you'd be surprised how often I see informal jargon being tossed around. Rule 22, thou shalt not be caught using AI. Notice the patterns of LLMs, the M dashes, etc., and avoid them like the plague. Section 5, subject lines and formatting. This is the stuff people overlook, but is so important. Rule 23 is fill the subject line with lots of pertinent information. This is dates, times, property names. This looks organized and makes it easy to find later. Generally speaking, the more important the email, the better the subject line should be. A great example of this is with an AGM, is you can have a whole bunch of information in that subject line of what it is. It's an AGM notice. You can put the location of what it's going to be at. You can put the date, all in the subject line. Do that. Someone doesn't even need to read the whole body of the email. They can actually read just the subject line and show up and be on time. Rule 24, use response required written in the subject line when needed. It's important for council members or other busy professionals, and it really signals that this is going to be an important email within a sea of emails. Rule 25, mark urgent emails as urgent. You see, some people always do this, and some people never do this. The rule here is know it's a tool, but be someone in between. Rule 26, no odd spacings. This one is a funny thing that I think no one else might get mad, but me. It's that your email should be well spaced, which means that your hello Tim shouldn't be 2 or 3 lines down. That should be at the top. And then the spaces between your paragraphs should be 1 space each. Often I see 1 space and then 2 space or best regards and 8 spaces below. We don't sell a product, we are a service. So don't make your emails look like garbage. Rule 27, spell people's names right. Always. Names are not like horseshoes and hand grenades where close enough is fine. People are very particular about their names, even capitalization. So get it right. Look it up. Just yesterday, I was emailing someone and it was Danielle. Is it 2 L's, 1 L? I spent the time to go look up a previous email to get it right. It is people's most important word. And you know that because you know what it feels like when someone calls you something different. You think, F you. Rule 28, proofread important emails. I almost would say proofread. All emails, just internal ones, are a little less important, but it's amazing what you'll find when you reread your emails. Even the most articulate people in the world would write terrible first drafts. Proofread, proofread, proofread. Section 6, attachments and links and files. This is the practical stuff. So Rule 29, internally, send the file path instead of the attachment. Attachments add data load to servers. They also do not connect automatically to the server. And so all of a sudden when you send an attachment, you have a copy and they have a copy. And now all of a sudden, which one's the most accurate? Keep one in the server and share the file path. Rule number 30, use embedded links where appropriate. This means in the body of your email, highlight, right-click, and link. Slick. Rule number 31, when forwarding, highlight the pertinent information for the next person. So if someone's not an email chain and you're forwarding it to them and you're saying, hey, do X, highlight the most important thing. This is the email equivalent of holding the door open for the next person behind you. It's really nice. Rule 32, if you forget to attach the attachment, you'll be made fun of publicly. Jordan, can you post that meme here on the video, that airplane staircase? It's hilarious. Don't do it. You'll be made fun of. Rule 33, treat email links with extreme caution. So in an earlier rule, I say use links in your email, but when receiving emails, be very cautious of links. This is where phishing with a PH is real. It should be hard-coded in you, a perpetual fear of clicking links. Links are bad. That's how princes in Nigeria get you. Links are bad, okay? Rule 34, always check the email address of the sender. This, again, is an anti-phishing habit, and there's lots more, but this is a key one. If you're checking links and you're checking where you're getting the emails from, that will cover 90% of cybersecurity issues. Section 7, inbox management. This is all about staying on top of it. So Rule 35, read an email once. The more you can deal with emails as they come in, the faster you'll work through things. Too many people read an email, park it for later, only to reopen it to read it again, and maybe park it for the next week and then reread it and do it again. This kills time. It's most often with the things you don't want to deal with. And so the best rule of thumb is to deal with things as they come in quickly. Read. And the thing that I say to me is that my aim is to only ever have to read an email once. Rule 36, know the 2-minute rule. What is a 2-minute rule? It dovetails nicely with the above rule, but in essence, it means that if a task takes 2 minutes to deal with, do it right away. This is in contrast to time blocking, where you do certain tasks together. Like I'm going to sit and go through my emails for an hour, or do invoices or site visits for half of the day. If something takes you 2 minutes and it's outside of your time block, just do it. Rule 37, if you're not hitting inbox 0 a few times a week, there's probably an issue. This is a big one. It doesn't mean it's necessarily your fault, but it is hinting at a problem. If you can't get everything done this week, what are the odds that you're going to get everything done next week, plus what you didn't get done last week? Issues will compound. Hitting inbox 0 is so critical to a peaceful state of mind, and it kills me when I see people constantly living under the constant pressure of emails they can't stay on top of. Rule 38, email chains requiring more than 3 replies should have been a quick meeting. Section 8, out of office and calendar management. This is often neglected, but always noticed. Rule 39, your email signature should include a vacation alert in advance of longer absences. Rule number 40, your out of office message should provide thorough, critical specifics, lead people to the right direction. Rule number 41, schedule meetings elegantly through email. In all email platforms, you can reply by meeting instead of reply or reply by all. And so instead of saying, sure, fine, that time works for a meeting, just send the calendar invite. It's quick and helps you and them be organized. Phew, that's it. Now, a few closing remarks. There are no hard, fast rules with email. I could find some contradiction probably in most of the rules above. So take all concepts with a massive pink Himalayan grain of salt. As purists, we should care most about the work being done. And we know email is not exactly the work. So in some ways, none of this shit matters anyways. This is just a tool. What matters is, are we getting stuff done? Like and subscribe. Don't forget, go into mn3.ca directly and subscribe there. Cheers.